My name is Insane Raven, and today I'm bringing you a review on Netflix's Mythbuster spin-off, White Rabbit Project. Now, before I really get into the nitty-gritty of the review, I do want to say that this show had every right in the world to succeed and to be successful. It had the nostalgia points from getting three of the original crew back. It had a fun premise, and it had everything that a show like this needed, if I'm honest. It had everything it should have had to be a success. So then, obviously, if I'm saying all this at the 40-second mark, obviously something went horribly wrong. And it's not that something went horribly wrong, it's that the show was disappointing and almost kind of boring. Now I say this as a huge fan of the original show, Mythbusters, and I kind of came into this the White Rabbit Project with the assumption that it was going to be similar in tone and feel of Mythbusters, and
enemy UAV is airborne.
for a good part, it is. It does have those same strokes of a Mythbusters show, and it does feel very Mythbustian, I guess. That can be a word. Mythbustian. But it fails pretty much in capturing the same magic and the same energy that the Mythbusters had. It trades in things that make sense for things that make really no sense at all. Instead of having a simple, like, 2 or 3 item list in an episode, for some reason, White Rabbit Project decided to get ambitious and went for 6 items in each episode. It causes 2 of the items in each episode to be basically glossed over in a 2-minute time span, giving the entire show a really unweighted, like, unbalanced, uneven feel to it, which shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen with a Netflix show. A Netflix show should never feel so unbalanced and so unsure of itself.
Enemy UAV is airborne. Our UAV is online.
So the pacing is all off for the show. The premise was fun. Have the original crew come back and have them almost do this semi-drunk history, like, table chat room feel, which could have been really cool. Where they could have, because a lot of the show is kind of structured in this way of, hey, I have something I want to talk about, let's talk about this, and let's take this in 6 different ways to talk about it. And then for some reason we're going to rank those things in an order from worst to greatest, which are all things that don't make sense. Like, all this show really had to do is be like, hey, we're Toy Grant and Carrie from Mythbusters. We're not on Mythbusters anymore, but here are some concepts that we wanted to try and make better or just expand on. Because personally, and this is a very personal thing for me, but the reason why they were so great on Mythbusters is because they got to do all the crazy, stupid builds that Adam and Jamie didn't want to do. And with that, and because Tori literally had no regard for safety, personal safety, at all. But that was the kind of stuff that made the show great. And the fact that they kind of threw it all away for most of the show is kind of disappointing. A lot of the show, they bring in experts almost all the time, and the experts have most of the dialogue in the show, and it kind of gives this feel of Toy Grant and Carrie kind of just doing and really advanced, really cool high school science fair type projects, which is such a shame. It feels like the personalities of these three hosts were completely wasted on the show. And maybe wasted might be too extreme of a phrasing, but definitely not used to the fullest potential. Like, Grant very much has this, like, mad scientist vibe to him. It's one of his greatest attributes, and it's why I loved watching him on Mythbusters. And he only really gets to tap into that for one episode. The season is only 10 episodes long, and while typically that's not enough episodes to get through a show and then trying to lift it off the air, for this, I felt it was almost too long. By episode 7, I was like, okay, I just need to get through these last 3 episodes. And that is so disappointing, especially because it could have been really fun. The other thing that I feel like this show doesn't do well is that it doesn't structure itself well. The show is on Netflix, so it means it doesn't have to have commercial breaks. Yet for some reason, it paces itself as if it does have commercial breaks. It repeats the 3 criteria that are in each episode, of which they're scaling and grading their subjects. And then repeat what the 3 criteria are multiple times in each episode, which is just something I don't understand. Especially since it is coming from a Netflix streaming service type of show. You don't need to have that, and it does, and it's confusing to me. I kind of feel like this was a show that Discovery Channel passed up on, and Netflix was like, hey, we just remade Full House, why not essentially remake Mythbusters? We'll take this on, sure. And it just doesn't work. That is kind of everything that the White Rabbit Project does wrong, but I do kind of want to focus on what it does right. One, it is great to see Tori, Grant, and Carrie get back together. It is amazing. It's like, for me, it's kind of like going to a high school reunion, or what I'm imagining that it's going to feel like. But it's essentially seeing people who you hung out with most of your high school life getting back together and be like, oh hey, this is something I did, and look at it. And that's perfectly fine. And I really did enjoy that aspect of it. I do enjoy the couple of times they get to build things, but it's not in the show enough to kind of carry it as much as I would like to. And it's just overall a disappointment of a show. I do hope that, however, in season 2, if there is a season 2, that it improves on its idea, because the idea is very cool. Have these 3 come back and do what they do best: test things and find out things to just better whatever they're looking into. Which is something I really do feel they have to bring back. Personally, for me, there's not enough build in the show. There's not enough of the host, like, personal risks in the show, to kind of make it feel like it's creating anything. That's one of the things that Mythbusters did so well, is that, yes, it taught you things in a very almost mundane, structured way, but it made you feel like you were being a part of whatever they were creating in the episode. Because they were actually creating something each episode. And in this, they don't really do that. It kind of feels like a very standard Discovery Channel show, or very standard History Channel show. And that's something that should never be said on a project like this. Especially because it had every right to succeed. And I am saddened that it didn't. The thing that I do want to see get done better, I want the ranking system to mean something. Like, they put so much emphasis on wanting to get the best rank and outbeat each other, because it really is this coffee style type deal. But it's not done any. It's like nothing is done with it. It's like, oh, you won, haha, yay, rainbows, lollipops, and sugar sticks, I guess. But nothing is really done with the fact that one of the hosts won or one of the hosts failed. It's just kind of like, oh, okay. And you're gonna make that so integral to the show, which it is, and not do anything with it. It just seems like a huge failure. Unfortunately. Other things I want to see the show improve on is I want to see more builds. I want to see each of the hosts kind of have their own project. I don't want there to be 6 things they're focusing on because it's way too much for the 42 minutes each episode lasts. I would rather have 3, maybe 4 things that each episode focuses on within the given the criteria. Because to me, that's more than enough to fill an episode. It was enough for Mythbusters, it can be enough for White Rabbit. And one last thing I kind of want to see done with the show, if it does in fact come back for a 2nd season, is that I want the host to kind of take more of a active role in the show, if that makes sense. If you have seen the show, you'll know that a large part of the show is them kind of talking to experts and having the experts explain a lot of what's going on and not really doing the work themselves. Giving it this very high school science fair type of feel. And I don't want that feel coming out of a show like this. Frankly, it doesn't belong, especially now when we know what these personalities can do. Because they were on Mythbusters for so gosh darn long.
Friendly airstrike on the way!
For so long.
UAV is online!
I do want that to be better and I want it to be cleaned up. So, out of all, is the show disappointing? Yes. Are you gonna be kinda saddened by it? Yeah. But do I think you should still watch it? If you are a Mythbusters fan, definitely. Even if it's just for a couple of episodes, I think you should definitely watch it. If it was just for a couple of episodes. Just to kind of see your friends again, you know? But I don't go into the show expecting something amazing, because you're not going to get it. But that's really it for this episode of IR Reviews. Thank you guys for watching. If you think I'm wrong in every single way, tell me. I want this show to be good, and I want it to have a better view on it. But as of right now, I just don't have it. I do want to know what you guys think in the comments down below, so drop me your thoughts on the White Rabbit project. And just how you think the show can be better. If you think it needs to be better. But as always, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.